kular hakani kesni. Mangantrai hok yaki kamjong. Hok do.
Kikubor Kapatisi TV.
Hatu pindon am kathong manlong kita kinong siat hagi hotel ane hagi restaurant ibapau. Hamokam hilapan pun orlong e kathong kocongki. Ke admission kelap le bani ai ki course ki baper kadon ke degree course ke diploma baga advanced diploma course.
Hakakat sau terik ujeliu ahajau penriu. UMLA ke West Shillong constituency uba polling do ula pelai Paidbah ya ke Poitri ke pelai kerteng stop the bad word. Ya kan dengan kot Poitri la tho tu nong tho Poitri uba pau Ananya S. Guha. Ubabat mentah kum Regional Director jong ke Indira Gandhi National Open University. La pelat ya kan kot Poitri. Haka jingelang gabla long ha Asian Confluence lai mkra. Haringkat ka jingedan lang Professor Desmond Karmau Plang. Bat kiwe ki bla syakot ngobha.
I would like to add to what Ananya has said in trying to recall the formative years of the now defunct Shillong Poetry Society. My work as a folklorist provides me with the opportunity to engage with the culture of memory. And in this, I have I've made an attempt to make notes on the last 40-45 years of my life as a writer, as a teacher. And I cannot help but think about the last, it must have been exactly 40 years now that we, Robin, Abhi Gupta, Piyush Dhar, Sankar Chakravarti, Ananya Guha, Arvind Suchyan, now Sutra, we used to meet at different places. And we used to we used to discuss poetry. And I still remember the very strange and sometimes suspiciously surreptitious places that we met. It was in a basement kind of a room of the publication cell, which was situated next to the Assam O2 agency, where MC Gabriel was the director of the publication cell. So he was kind enough to give us a room where we would sit, chat, share our work, read, and so on. We also had the occasion to meet, at the youth hostel, if you remember. There was a room that was provided by the manager, and we used to meet there as well. Also, there was the Ambi Press, which was located at Police Bazaar. It was a dungeon kind of a room located in the bowels of a building that probably is no longer there. So this was also a place where we met, to share our work. And Anani has also mentioned the AG office, the Accountant General's office, where Piyush Dhar worked. So we had the run of the place also. It was also at that point of time that we thought that we should publish, our work, and the first publication that we had was a very humble production, which was something between a leaflet and a booklet, or it was a very thin stuff which we distributed free, So, and I still remember it was green in color, and again we had that printed at Ambi.
Let me extend my heartfelt and profuse congratulations to my very good friend, Dr. Anindya Gora, for having for having achieved this important milestone. I think this is your 8th collection of poems. My other friends on the dais, both of whom are well-established poets, Dr. Robin Alom, who incidentally had taught me at the Department of English, Nehu, and Dr. Desmond Khatmaulan, one of the first poets I had an encounter with as a teenager, and whose words of encouragement and support ensured my transition into a published poet today. The family of Mr. Guha, his better half, whom I had the first opportunity of meeting her in person today, ladies and gentlemen, I did not know that I would be asked to speak, because that is something that I generally do on almost any day. So I thought at least I'd get a break today. But since Dr. Guha had also taken pains to go through my manuscript while I was preparing the draft for a return to poetry, and had also attended the release of the book in 2017. I think it's only fair that I should also do him that favor. And one of the best lines that I've come across, and today being a Sunday, I'm reminded of those lines which say that what is poetry? Poetry is prose dressed in its Sunday best. I believe all of you are dressed in your best today. And when it comes to poetry, this particular collection, of course, is one which I look forward to reading immediately. But I recall Babulun Neruda, when he was asked about the meaning of one of his poems, and he said, if you ask me what my poetry is about, all I can say is I don't know. But if you ask my poetry who I am, then it will tell you. Having heard from Dr. Robin, I also chanced upon one of the poems here in this collection, a brief one, Missing Student. I think this caught my attention on the spur of the moment that when we got to untangle the book. A student missing in the university doesn't matter. The classes will continue, and the student missing will rue many a time that the classes were going on. There is campus rumpus. A student is missing. Students protest. Where is he? The vice chancellor tweets, It is good that technology can now make us expiate frivolous responsibilities, such as relocating missing students. Hills and valleys meditate in halting silence. Such profundity and, I believe, depth of emotions is something very central to the Shillong School of Poets. I recall Dr. Robin's essay and his reference to the fact that as compared to the rest of the country, we write what he calls the poetry of feeling more than cerebral poetry, which is found in the rest of the country. And I think there's nothing wrong at all with that. In fact, that takes us deeper into our inner selves, and he has already mentioned that he has been called an overtly political poet, and that is the tag that I also got. In fact, a critic who went through my collection of poems said that these poems have been marked by the overtly political tones. He actually used those words, marked. But having said that, I'm sure that this latest collection of his and the two divergent themes, the violence that he sees around and the quiet and serenity of the hill poems, these are well juxtaposed. When it comes to violence and how this impacts the poetry that we write, I have not forgotten Dr. Robin's lines when he writes about Manipur. One of the lines that have been etched on my mind are those lines which say, quote, I heard that they have dropped the word shame from their dictionary, unquote. So today, but there's, if I were to pick up my favorite line, there's this poem when he had traveled abroad. I believe that was his first travel abroad to Switzerland. And while departing from the airport, he said, I remember those lines, the girl at the arrival lounge promised us a sky bluer than her eyes, unquote. So that's the beauty of Shillong, the lyrical, the emotional, the human, as juxtaposed to what Dr. Robin called cerebral poetry. So, without taking more time, once again, congratulations, Mr. Guha. We look forward to reading this particular collection, and also I'm sure that there are more that are coming in the days ahead. We wish you good luck. I was telling him that we were lucky to be meeting here today, but I've heard of plans that the Hawkers Market might also be shifted soon here. So I said, at that point of time, we would have to compete the level of volume between poets and the vendors outside. So today we're fortunate that it's quiet, serene, and I wish the publication all the success it deserves. And I'll wind up with, since a lot of these poems center around the theme of violence and absence of humanity, the degradation of the human spirit, I am tempted to quote Dylan, one of his finest songs, Masters of War. Verse 8, where he speaks about these masters, the creators of war and warfare. Again, the protest poet in him. And I hope that you die and your death will come soon. I will follow your casket by the pale afternoon, and I'll watch while you lower down to your deathbed, and I'll stand over your grave till I'm sure that you're dead. Unquote. Thank you.
Mornings are always busy. Everything feels fast. I hear mom shouting and I'm trying not to be late. Outside, Shillong is already awake. Cars move slowly, horns are loud. It feels like everyone is in a hurry. Then the STEMS bus comes in, bright and yellow, always on time. The caretaker waves and I feel okay. Inside, we laugh and sing. We share snacks, we help each other with homework. It feels nice. My parents know I'm safe through the STEMS app on mom's phone. Because this bus isn't just a ride. It takes us to school with friends and a little bit of hope. This is STEMS, our ride, our future.